You're in the hospital? He's okay?
There are 8 children that are deceased.
Okay, so
I can't be strong for you. I think about the mother and what this family has lost. I think about this community and what this community has lost. And I don't have the words to give you, and I'm sorry. I don't know what people think in the crevices of their mind to want to harm another human being, let alone that of children who have their whole life ahead of them. And maybe you can stand strong with this, but I can't without shedding tears of traumatic pain. I pain and I grieve for this family.
Man, y'all. All right now. Y'all already know what it is. Welcome to Honey Speaks, where the conversation gets real, unfiltered, and sometimes heavy. I'm your girl, Honey, and today is one of them conversations, that's not easy, but it needs to be had, right? This morning, something heartbreaking happened in Shreveport, Louisiana, man. A man took the lives of 8 children, ages 1 through 14. 1 through 14. And he shot 2 women, right? Let that sit for a second. Babies, y'all. Babies. Babies. These are babies. Lives cut short for no reason that gonna ever make sense. And see, this is exactly why I do this, right? Because we're not about to scroll past it, ignore it, act like it didn't happen. The pain, the anger, the questions, all of it. We got to dig into this. But before we get into it, man, thank you. For real. Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for watching, your support, sharing, even when the conversation gets tough. See, that means something to me. So if you haven't already, man, hit the subscribe button and join the family over here at The Culture Connects, okay? On YouTube, The Culture Connects. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything, because these conversations, these the ones that matter. These the ones that matter, because see, I'm not here to clout chase. I'm here to bring some awareness, okay? And if you believe in what I'm building, go ahead and support the platform. $ Chi-Town Honey 247. Donations are always appreciated, because right here, this is bigger than content. This is community. All right. Now let's talk about what happened, because something ain't right. And we need to start by saying that out loud. Something ain't right. And y'all know Honey got something to say. And today, as always, it's coming from the heart. Check this out.
Well, now to a tragedy unfolding in Louisiana right now. Police say 8 children were shot and killed in a mass shooting there. Police in Shreveport are calling this a domestic disturbance. It happened earlier today. Officers responded to reports of shots fired and found the bodies of 8 children, ranging in age from 14 to 1. They were in 3 different homes. 2 other people were wounded. Investigators think the suspect, who was shot and killed by police, was related to some of the victims. Shreveport's mayor calling the violence devastating.
We have a hurting community. We have hurting families. We have hurting police officers, coroner's personnel, fire department, sheriff people, And this affects the entire community. So we all mourn with these families.
Police have yet to release any names of the victims or the suspected shooter. Of course, we'll keep you posted on their investigation.
Y'all know this ugly. Y'all know this is ugly, man. But see, here's the thing, right? And I'm not one of those women that want to put women against men or woo woo, because we all need each other. I don't care what social media or any of this stuff is saying to you guys, because this is irregular programming. Women need men, men need women. But we got to develop some coping skills here, because domestic violence in this way is at an all-time high. It's at an all-time high, y'all. And some got to give. And because the police killed the man, right? We'll never know. We'll never know why he did it. We'll never know. We'll never know why. Why? Because it got to be deeper than somebody not wanting you. She don't want you, you gonna kill her, and all you just gonna erase the whole generation. Like, it's over with. Everybody gotta die. What? And now this woman is in the hospital. Like, I don't know who the second woman is. They haven't divulged that information yet, but like, we don't know. Like I said, I don't know who that second woman is, but like, the woman who the majority of the kids belong to, the one that he didn't want, that he couldn't take the rejection, baby, she fighting for her life and got to bury all these kids. Did she have life insurance? And outside of that, like, man, look, are they gonna have to do something for her? She's still fighting. Something has to give, you guys. Like, it's ugly. It's ugly. Let me see here, because I got a man. Okay. So first I want to tap into a couple of other situations with some murder-suicides that was recent.
Than you are. I always say I can't marry nobody I can't take to the White House. Okay? To meet Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. Because for black people, that's the forever president. Don't do it. Men who are less accomplished than you.
Madam Vice Mayor Nancy Matea Bowen, please give a Cosmos round of welcome to our second honoree tonight. Let's give it up.
Chilling new details tonight in the murder of Coral Springs Vice Mayor Nancy Matea Bowen. Police say she was killed by her husband with a shotgun muzzled by a pillow. Detectives say he then slept in their house while her body was upstairs.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you, but how can I go after Rabbi Fisher? Like, that was so amazing. That's not fair.
I think police will release that information when they learn a little bit more. It's still an open investigation.
Really? This was recent, you guys.
Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, Justin Fairfax, and his wife Serena were found dead this morning in their Annandale home after he reportedly shot her and then himself. And police say that both their teenage kids were in the house when it happened, with their son being the one who called 911. Right, and the couple were in the middle of a divorce, and police say that the shooting may have been sparked by Justin being served paperwork for an upcoming court date. But this also isn't the first time the police have been to that house. Back in January, Justin called 911 claiming that Serena had assaulted him. Except Serena, she installed cameras all over the home, and police confirmed that the assault never actually happened. And also, if you can't tell why, but Justin seems familiar to you, it's because his political career was just so messy. Back in 2019, 2019, Virginia's governor at the time, Ralph Northam, was engulfed in a blackface and KKK scandal. And so then Justin reportedly started calling family members telling them that Northam was about to resign and that he was next in line for the top job. But then days later, a woman came forward accusing Justin of sexually assaulting her back in 2004. And then 5 days after that, a second woman made similar claims. But then, while there were calls for Justin to resign, neither he nor Northam did, and both finished out their terms. So for now, we just have this really tragic situation. You have the police saying that their main focus is helping the kids right now.
Multiple victims in this case, hitting the number of 10. 2 of those victims last that we heard.
Y'all see what I'm saying? It's at an all-time high. And you know, I got a video with a guy that says that man, he hit it real hard. Let me see if I could find him, because baby, it's real. It's real.
Know that men are more likely to be both perpetrators and victims of murder than women. Stats from 2022 to 2023 in England and Wales show that 71% of homicide victims were male, while 29% were female. Horrifically female victims are most likely to be killed by a partner or ex, whereas males are most likely to be killed by a friend or acquaintance.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all see it, right? You know, I don't know if they lack an emotional intelligence, coping skills, can't take rejection. I'm not sure what's going on, you guys, but man, something gotta give. Something gotta give. And ladies, when you see these red flags, because they be there. They be there. You know, we talked about this earlier on the Aisha Sisters podcast on YouTube. If you haven't had a chance, check us out. Aisha Sisters podcast on YouTube. You know, shameless plug. Them my sisters. Queen Sue and the sisters. So yeah. But check it out, because we touch on some real good topics we touched on a real good topic today about these men and what's happening in the world today. You know, I don't know what's going on, but men, you know, women outnumber men. We've always outnumbered y'all. Ain't no sense in killing one when you got 5 others waiting in the wings, baby. Let her go. Let her go on. It's somebody else out there for you. Now check this out, y'all.
Yeah, that's correct.
We need you to get to the beginning.
That is not uncommon. It happens probably more often than we think.
Shocking statistics show an uptick in murder-suicides across the United States, with more than 1,000 incidents taking place each year.
Oh, it's way more common than you think. Maybe not necessarily the violence aspect, maybe not necessarily the sort of physical abuse, but the emotional abuse, the mental abuse.
Even as recent as last week, a New Jersey murder-suicide made national headlines. 57-year-old Peter Ventricelli opened fire on his wife, 58-year-old Kelly Ventricelli, and their 15-year-old son Anthony before turning the gun on himself. Their bodies were found on March 7th when a family friend requested a welfare check. According to a GoFundMe page created by Peter's nephew Carlo Ventricelli, quote, "The shock of this situation has our family at a loss for words."
I'm not surprised that, quote unquote, no one knew. I'm also not surprised that there were no police records or anything like that. It doesn't mean that it didn't exist.
But according to forensic psychologist Dr. John Delatory, there had to have been warning signs.
It's such a difficult thing to see sort of warning signs when it comes to abusive partners, because I think a lot of times the person being abused is willing to engage in some kind of rationalization or justification, but it's a hard thing also to see the sort of very beginnings of coercive control and psychological manipulation and grooming and engagement type behaviors that abusers will use to sort of break down the psychological barriers at first. Once the abuser has broken down the psychological barriers, it's fairly easy to start breaking down the physical barriers as well.
Delatorre says though a motive may not be immediately clear, the murder-suicide likely stemmed from a buildup over time.
And I want to be clear that people don't just snap. There has been a long history of mental, emotional, and physical abuse that had been happening within that relationship that people just did not know. Now, in what way was it manifesting? I don't know. But the truth is that there's always a sign. There's always something there. No one just snaps. Things like this don't come out of nowhere.
Only about an hour northwest of the Roxbury murder-suicide, a separate murder-suicide in Linden, New Jersey, just weeks before. A husband shot and killed his wife and 2 teenage children. These are just 2 examples of the more than 300 murder-suicides so far this year, according to gun violence organizations. Statistically, that adds up to 11 murder-suicides each week, totaling about 600 incidents per year.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see it in any relationship in which there is a power imbalance that is maybe not understood by both parties, right? There's always going to be a notion of conflict within a relationship. No relationship is perfect, but what we're describing are individuals who are attempting to maintain power over someone else through specific kinds of means.
But Delatorre believes there is a specific stressor that caused the increase in murder-suicides in America.
A lot of what we see in terms of the increase in murder-suicide stem from the 2020 pandemic, particularly the lockdown.
Though we're now several years removed from the COVID-19 lockdown, Delatorre says it may have caused lasting damage in some relationships.
And I think even though the lockdowns have been lifted, I think what we're still seeing are the remnants of that individuals during that time found no coping resource. They found no outlet for anything. Now, usually we think of these added pressures of work and relationships being kind of the primary components to someone engaging in these problematic sort of violent behaviors. But the lockdown presented a unique aspect where individuals who were abusing and were the abused were now trapped essentially in the same house all of the time. So while there might have been an opportunity for relief from the abuse because the person had to go to work or something like that, we didn't really get to see that during the pandemic.
He argues some couples could have formed negative habits during the pandemic and not yet found positive solutions.
There hasn't been an opportunity for individuals to really get themselves out of the holes that they were dug in during the pandemic. And that also has added pressure to these individuals who are likely to engage in maladaptive behaviors, these violent acts. They haven't been able to find a more pro-social outlet for what is going on within inside of them.
The FBI reports 65% of murder-suicides involve intimate partner relationships, with 81% happening at home. According to a study published by Harvard University, 59% of men who killed a female partner then committed suicide. Delatorre believes there's a clear reason why men are more likely to commit murder-suicide.
I think the audience needs to be clear is that it doesn't matter what gender you are. Anyone is capable of violence at any time. What we're seeing, however, is that there are a lot of males who engage in domestic violence and intimate partner violence because of the notion of entitlement. Right? Women don't generally have a notion of entitlement the way that men do.
Y'all heard them. Entitlement. Men have an entitlement issue in their heads that we as women, we don't have.
And believe themselves to have access to certain things or get things in the way that they want it. And because they don't get it, or because they don't get it the way that they want it, they're more likely to engage in aggressive behaviors because of the power associated with being just physically bigger.
Delatorre says abusers often use forms of manipulation and later justification for their actions.
The person that's abusing you will then try different manipulation techniques like giving you flowers and apologizing and stuff like that.
Gaslighting. That is gaslighting. They do stuff apologize, right? Give you gifts, love bomb you, and then do the same thing again. See, an apology without change behavior is manipulation. There's no way around it. An apology without change behavior is manipulation.
Right? As a way of keeping you sort of in the relationship. It's a very push-pull technique that the abuser is going to look that you probably never even recognize what's happening until it's way too late. There are a lot of statistics that go around about the pressures associated with why someone would engage in these kinds of physically violent acts. But again, these are just excuses. These are rationalizations that the individual uses. The person chose to engage in this violent act. They didn't have to. There's nothing in society that says that in order to be dominant, that they have to be physically violent.
But all that doesn't mean women can't also commit the crime.
So,
yeah. We can.
Again, it's not to say that women can't engage in violence. It's that men are quicker to engage in violence because of societal notions about what it means to be a man and the entitlements associated with it.
The children were killed by.
So, you guys see, man, this is happening. It is so prevalent. And we got to get from up under this. We got to get from up under it, man. Seriously. This is a dangerous game. And ladies, we are on the losing end. We on the losing end. And all I can say is I'm praying for the family of the victims that happened today, right? But ladies, we cannot ignore the red flags. You know, no amount of gifts is worth your life. It's worth the lives of your children. You know, because y'all leave families here picking up the pieces. We got to get out of this. Love starts from within. You have to love you. Gotta love you. And in loving you, you have to protect yourself. Don't ignore those red flags. They are there. You see them. Please stop ignoring them. And I also understand, as a victim of domestic violence myself, I understand that it's hard to leave when you're being abused. Especially when you're in a situation where not only are you being abused, but this person pays all the bills. So I get that too. I understand how that works. All I can tell you is that means that it's time for you to get a job, save your money, and carefully plan and execute your escape. Always remember to follow your 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Okay. I'm like I said, I'm speaking from experience. I understand. If nobody else understands, I do, because I've been there. But at the same time, I had enough sense not to ignore the red flags and to leave when the opportunity presented itself. I didn't just up and leave. I had to wait till the opportunity presented itself. And I'm suggesting that for any woman that's going through any type of domestic abuse. And there's some hotlines and all of that. What I should have done was did my research and posted them numbers on my banner, because if you're a woman that's going through something, man, I want you to get some help. I want you to get out before it's too late. We do not need another one of these situations where 8 children, 8 innocents, 1 through 14, gone. Gone. All that potential gone. Gone. Man, it has to stop. It has to stop. Well, I don't want to get too emotional on here. I'm going to close out. I thank you guys for watching Honey Speaks. Please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel at The Culture Connects. Share this video because hopefully it will help someone. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, I'm out.